Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of She Who Remembers. I'm sitting here with the beautiful Iris, a multi-dimensional art medicine woman, water priestess, and host of the Talking Stick podcast. Iris holds ceremony, which involves intuitive art, dance, and sound alchemy. She works with light language and elemental integration to allow for deep transformation and soul retrieval. She is also the portal guardian for advanced beings and avatar beings who are coming through the portal. Iris, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Antonia.
Of course, of course. Can you tell us a little bit about your lineage and the medicine that you work with?
Lineage, you mean my human lineage or yeah,
Earthly lineage.
my earthly lineage? Well, I'm quite a mix. My father is German and Yugoslavian, and my mother is Spanish and Mexican. I was born in Germany, raised in Germany and in Spain, and then chose to live 15 years in the Canary Islands and in different places in the world where I learned the languages. So I consider myself to be a world citizen. But if we talk from my birth, from my DNA, well, that's where I come from. And now I came back to my roots and live again in the mountains of Spain, where I actually grew up after coming from Germany here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Such rich culture over there in Spain.
Yeah, rich culture. And if you look at my lineage, actually, the Spanish and the Mexican, and then the German, and I have also Jewish in that part.
Yeah.
There's like the enemies, right? So the conquistadores, Spanish, Mexican, and then the Jews and the Germans, not so good friends. So I have all of those lineages in my DNA in order to be the bridge for them to come together again. But it's
Wow.
not been easy.
Wow. So do you believe, do you communicate with your ancestors and speak about why you incarnated here and how you're kind of meant to weave them together?
Yeah. When I was in Mexico, it was the first time where I truly clearly communicated with them. And before I went there, I did 1 year ancestral healing by myself. And
Hmm.
this was for the first time where I started to receive all of those messages and understood why my life was the way it was as an ancestral curse breaker and the black sheep. And this is everything started to make sense. And nowadays, I have changed a little bit my ancestry, and now I talk more with my celestial ancestors, my cosmic ancestors, and not so much with my human lineage anymore.
So let's talk a little bit about your star lineage and kind of how you're communicating. Yes, we can open it up so people understand if they're maybe curious, okay, how would I even start or what does that even look like?
hmm
Yeah, a little bit about that process.
hmm So, what we're going through now as a humanity is that we are letting go of our ancestors, of our ancestral human lineage, or the identification with only that human that we think that we are. Yeah. So we are slowly but surely letting go of their patterns, of the ingranations in our DNA that have held us a little bit hostage to just one fixed identity that we have identified ourselves with, being my mom and my dad being this and that, or my past being this and this and this happened. So really just identifying with a lot of stories of who we think we are. What is happening now in the awakening of humanity as that these stories that we have told ourselves of who we think we are slowly starting to dissolve, and our identities that we have built, which are all stories, mind stories, are starting to dissolve. So this is what I mean with I'm not so much now talking to my human ancestors because I came to realize that 90% of them didn't really want me to be successful. And this was a rare, like a shock for me to understand that they were living through me, and I was having a lot of patterns and addictions and like cycles that I did not be able to break because of that. So when I started to disentangle from that, and they started to leave, and I started to take back my authority, and explain to them as well that, because most of them don't understand that if they don't set you free, then that they will never also be free. So they hold on to living through you, when in reality what they would need is to let you go and support you. But a lot of them have been living literally from our life force for a long time. This is
Oh,
why
yeah.
many of us have not been able to be successful or abundant, because they have been siphoning our life force. So to make a clear break there is really important. And there are also very beneficial ancestors that really want you to succeed, but not all of them. And so a good way to start is, first of all, to stop praying to them, because if you pray to them or give offerings, you are doing that to all of them. And as just said, there's not all of them that have the highest benefit for you. So this is the first thing that many of us are doing wrong, and I have been there. Yeah. So when I said I have done the 1 year work with an altar for all of my ancestors and all of that. So, but I learned from my mistakes. And so this is the first thing, because we are already in an energy where we can start to connect with our higher octave ancestry, with it, which is your cosmic mother and your cosmic father, which live in you. And when you start to do this connection, this is when your inner golden child can emerge. And this is the ascension process, actually. And this is where we need to focus on right now. Let go of the human. I'm not calling it human, because that's wrong.
The
Of
ego.
the, yeah, of the identification ancestry, and start to connect with your higher ancestry, which is your cosmic mother and your cosmic father. And here again, we can go into saying, yes, we have a celestial ancestry as well, or a cosmic ancestry. But more than that, we are also being called to even let go of that and not identify with anything, because we are it all.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not a single soul incarnating over and over again. We are just one soul, and everyone that you have around and all your ancestors are all you. So it is really about, when you free yourself from any sort of identification and you break through and you awake to the truth of who you are, which is where all of that dream emerges in, then you free all.
Yes. Wow. It's beautiful. Thank you. And I think that that's one of the most challenging things for people to understand, because that level of consciousness and awareness is hard for our human brains to grasp. You're like, well, how? You're like, even the elements and the plants, all of it, like it's all connected. And I think people can't really like tangibly grasp that, but I think that's also the point, is it's more of like an internal, it's a feeling, it's a trust. There's
Hmm.
so much there. So I want to kind of go back to your ancestors not having your best interest at heart, because I know that obviously in the 3D world, your family is kind of they're the ones that test you. This is where you go through a lot of lessons, and they're meant to kind of push and pry so that you learn the lessons that you need to learn to evolve and grow. But when you're speaking about star lineage ancestors, what if you're, you know, praying or calling on the highest for your ancestors? Is that doing enough to block out this, you know, bad energy or whatever you want to call it? Or like, is there something else, another process that you have when it comes to calling on them?
Yeah. So one thing to know is that you don't need to call upon anyone if you have the authority and you know that you are the authority. So you have the authority when you really connect with with who you are. You simply decide and speak from your womb whatever you want, and then it is done. So what I have done is to it's something that just came to me. I remembered that this was something that just came to me, to put a little bit of saliva on your navel and then speak that you speak out whatever comes from your heart, that you do not consent of any form of siphoning or blockages anymore to fulfill your highest destiny, and that you set now all of your ancestors free to go to the light, to continue where they need to go, but that you decide from now on to live a different way and to go a different road, so that you are not consenting anymore to for them to live through you, or to any form of siphoning of your life force or any form of pattern repeating, so that you break now here any and all curses, lineages, lies, forms of beings that are not for your highest good. And you can say whatever comes naturally in that moment, but really like standing firm. And then you can imagine or simply observe what happens, like what happens in your field. And I have done work with Oracle Girl. She has a lot of audios in that way, where it helps you to purify it automatically simply by listening that to that. You are already aligned with that, and is already happening naturally for all of us on Earth right now. So you don't really have to do anything extra. But this has helped me to finally be able to stop smoking, for example. I couldn't stop smoking, like no matter what I did. I stopped maybe for a year, and then I continued again until one time I was smoking, and I said, and a part of me was like, why am I still smoking? I don't want to smoke. I want to vomit when I smoke. And I heard another voice laughing, and I was like, what? Who is that? So
Gosh.
suddenly I realized it was an ancestor smoking through me. And it was such a crazy realization. Then I was like, what? And then I was able to talk to him in my brain, like inside of me, and said, you motherfucker, yeah, it's you. And he was laughing, ha ha ha. So we started to have like a conversation. And after that, I said, no way. Now I understand. Now I started to understand a lot of things. So, yeah. And then I stopped smoking after I mm, told him to
Oh my
continue
goodness.
his path. Yeah.
And I
Crazy.
don't think a lot of people understand that when you are so open, receptive, and like operating at a certain frequency, like there are spirits who want to attach onto your field, and like you are food for the spirits. Like
Yeah.
they need to feed off of us to stay, around here and doing the things that they want to
Yes.
do. This
Yes,
place is so
specifically your
desirable.
ancestors, and you are praying to them. You're giving them consent every time you pray to them. You're actually literally giving them your life force for free and saying, "Hey, come on here, uh, uh, come on, let's do whatever you want." And I did that for a long time. I did it. I was not aware of it until I was aware of it.
Oh my God. Something just really popped up. I kind of want to talk about religion. Can we talk
Mm,
about religion? Like
yeah.
organized religion? Um, and kind of how that's shaped a lot of these beliefs of you need to pray to somebody in order to, achieve these states of being and enlightenment and, XYZ. And it takes away the autonomy for your own power and for everything that you're speaking of. So, I really kind of want to open the conversation. I feel like it's safe to do that with you of, people who were raised in these specific organized religions, kind of how they can take their power back and realize like it doesn't have to be outside of you.
Ooh. So my mom is ultra Catholic, like
Oh boy.
ultra mega hyper Catholic, and my dad is an atheist, mega atheist. So he doesn't believe in anything. So I have that in my field all of the time. And my daughter are now starting to pray because she's hearing my mother pray. There's nothing wrong, first of all, with praying, yeah, because many people use it as a form of help right now, and we're going through difficult times. So it's kind of an anchor for most of them, right? But praying from a victim point of view and praying to a God, which is, and here I'm just gonna tell the truth, like the God that most people pray to is actually, every time that you pray to that God, you are feeding exactly that what you are what you're praying against to. So praying for you, putting yourself as a victim, or somebody that is powerless and something else above you has more power, is keeping you in that loop forever. So praying from a place of empowerment, which is more so as a prayer, a kind of giving thanks, or a focusing on something, and then handing it over to the higher power, but not a higher power outside of you, just a higher power that is you, that is connected to you, and that works through you. So what I invite people to do is try it out. To next time when you pray, simply pray to yourself as if you would be praying to your best friend, but not as in, I'm just a little human and you have all the power, but like, I'm noticing this in my life or in the world, and I would like to put my focus on that and hand it over, because I know that you will open up the space, as in your higher self, to fix it. And then you let it go. But from a place of empowerment, from a place of, it's done and I don't have to take care of it, but I decided it, that it is like that. I decided, not God outside of me. I decided.
Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest difference is the organized religion is rooted from fear and lack of and all of these things to scare you and make you feel guilt and low vibrational energy. And from that space we can't connect up. How are we connecting if we're down here? Yeah. Just doesn't make sense. Like
Mm,
logically.
yeah,
It's quite interesting when you are able to give yourself that power back. Be like, no, I am capable, I am worthy. We're such like an intelligence and we're so connected.
yeah.
Um,
Especially like what I said before, it's not only that we are connected, it's really that there is no separation. Like, the separation is the illusion, and fear, or making God outside of you, is what keeps the separation. And as long as the separation is there, you will never be able to ascend, and you will you're kept in a loop. And specifically in a loop of fear of death. Yeah. So when you are afraid of death, this is when you will never understand that you are immortal, that you're eternal, that you literally cannot die. Like, if we would not have the fear of death, then everything will be so different. So what happens when you die, uh, praying to that God that they're portraying to be God, is that many people say they see a light and then they see their ancestors and their favorite song, and they say, "Come to heaven, you made it." And this white light, right? This white tunnel, and this is exactly the trap. This is the trap of you identify with that person that you think you are, and you go into the reincarnation wheel, which is not really a reincarnation wheel, it's just a recycling of your life force, of your a new use of your life force, and making you believe that you are a false self, like an individuated self. So this is why so many ancient cultures have focused all of their energy in learning how to die. Learning how to die actually will help you in the moment of death to, instead of going back into the circle of the Ouroboros, of the reincarnation, to re-enter the eternal womb of creation, which is the all, and become the all. Eternal bliss. And you still are able to experience it all. So, but not as a individuated self that lives in an inverted matrix, which is never meant to be this way.
But don't you? Okay. Okay. It's interesting because I think if we're talking creation and everything that exists in the way that it is right now, do you think that everything is exactly as it's supposed to be? It's
No,
all on purpose, like there are no accidents?
no.
No.
Mm-mm.
This is interesting. Okay, tell me more.
Well, it is and it isn't, depending on from which viewpoint you see it. But from the viewpoint that many of us are in at right now, it is truly important for us to understand that there is another source that is not working for our highest interest, and that not everything that happens is okay. Because if we go into that paradigm, which is a little bit this fucking new age bullshit, love and light, everything is fine, then we are missing out on having to make decisions about certain things and take a stand, and realizing where is humanity going, like opening up our eyes and awakening of what is going on, and deciding internally on on is that okay or is that not okay. So there is an it is okay, and things are not okay. So not everything is just as it is okay, because if we go there, which is the highest form of consciousness and non-duality, which is the highest form, but to reach that level, first you need to understand that there is duality, and be very clear about that, and that there is a wheel that we need to break out of in order to dissolve with the all, where none of that has ever existed. So, you know, so in one way, you are right, everything is okay, because really we're just living a dream, and none of that is real, although for us it is really real right now, and that is the point. So for us it is really real because we went really deeply into matter. So as for us, it is really real. Here, we need to understand that there is a source that is not connected to love. There's two sources, one that is connected to love and the other that is not connected to love. And um, and that we need to decide certain things, and that every action has consequence here in this plane.
Yes. Yes. There are
Very.
consequences for people who are doing very bad things.
Mhm.
And I think that's where karma comes in and all of that. What would you call this energy not from love something? would you call it something, or do you leave it as it
Yeah,
is?
interdimensional force. It's interdimensional negative high frequency force. So they are very high frequency beings that have no body. So they need to, they're making everything possible to be able to live here with a body. They're trying to get to the point where they can merge their consciousness with us so that they are also connected to this source of love, this source of light. This is their goal, but basically. So they're also only trying to survive. Um,
Wow.
but yeah, it's interdimensional beings.
And does this tie back to when somebody's like highly addicted to something, that's that energy coming in to like keep us disconnected and to keep us addicted to more, yeah, 3D things?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And
It's this inversion that I've been talking about that automatically happens when you come onto this plane, into this false grid matrix where the ancestral things come in, where the karma comes in, where the illnesses come in,
mm,
where where this false self identification with a false self comes in. So a false identity. And this interdimensional force wants to keep us in this false identity because there's literally living of our life force. So when we start to dissolve this false identity, which is what is happening now on Earth, all of this inversion and this negativity and the shit is starting to come up. This is why we're seeing on the in the world now everything going like what? It's because everything is coming up to be in order to be transmuted. And we are actually the transmuters. We are the ones that simply by being here, because we are connected to the source of love, we, by simply being here, are automatically bringing these things up. So it's happening automatically. We already won, like the whole thing is already won. We're just seeing it now unravel and unfold. But still, although it's already done, we still need to decide and do certain things. It's very important, and this is something that I have seen and I have experienced on myself. In Spain, we say no hacer nada y que no quede nada por hacer, which means don't do anything, but don't leave anything undone. So
mm,
it's this paradox, right, of life where we have to become aware that we are not in control. Like we definitely are not in control of anything. It's actually nature, but we still need to act when we get the impulse, right?
yeah, thank you. Yes, I mean, that's everything with manifestation. You can't just sit there and be like, I want this and now it's going to come to me. It's okay, I'm feeling this thing that's coming up and now I need to put action behind it so that it does come into my field. Like we need to be active participants
Yep.
in all of the things that are happening in our lives.
Yes, yes.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this energy. I want to go back to like we're never born, we never die, kind of like life coming through the portal. When we were speaking outside of this, you spoke about being an initiate for these avatar beings and these beautiful high level beings coming through. Do
Mhm.
you want to talk a little bit about that and your experience with the shaman? And I really want to like hear about that.
Oof, there's so much there. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the the birth moment or the birth coordinate, right, where we enter this plane, or more so, we materialize. Um, is where everything starts and where everything ends. So if you consider yourself to be that you see the world through your lens, and without your lens, the world does not exist, and that you see the world exactly how you perceive it to be, how what your beliefs are. So through your water lens, so the water in your eye and the programming in your eye is what makes you see the world one way or the other, or what allows you to see more dimensions or just one. So what happens when you are in front of the computer and in front of the phone all the time is that you are being programmed through the mirror, because this is a mirror. Your water in your eyes programmed so that you are only able to see one dimension and one reality. Okay? So in birth, our birth coordinate is something that when we purify this moment, imagine that you come into the world, how the beings that want to come in now are coming into the world, which is connected, like your mother and your father are connected to the original earth grid. So not inverted grid, which is what is happening now. The earth grid is purifying and we are entering into seeing the reality, how it really is, which is the pure love reality, not the inverted reality. So this is what is happening right now. This is ascension. It's not really ascension. It's just getting rid of what is not real. Yeah. So your mother, your father are connected to this original earth grid, like how I like to call it. I don't like to call it new earth because it's not new. It's already there. So it's the original earth. And you come through the portal completely free of illness. Karma does not exist in that place. Like karma, literally karma right now is not existent anymore. The only karma that can happen now is if you create your own karma now. But the karma that like the ancestral karma and all of that is already transmuted. What is happening now is that many of us are transmuting collective things, collective karma, but it's new karma. It's not old, like it's all new. So when both parents are connected to the original earth grid, then the babies can come through the portal, which is birth is a portal. It's a materialization of a dream of a being that the mother and the father have an idea, have a dream, and they come together and form and materialize this dream of a better future into a being. Yeah. Those beings that are coming in right now, they are so highly advanced and they come with such a high frequency and such a pure blueprint that they cannot be just, they cannot come into this plane with just two dreamers or creators. They are coming in with various people who are connected to the pure love frequency and to the original earth grid as their dreamers. So they come in as avatar beings, meaning that they have from 12 to 42 strands of DNA active. So depending, like this is what is coming now. The beings that want to come now are triple Christ beings. So if you want to say Jeshua, right? So what he was able to do, like per three, like these kind of beings are wanting to come in, but they can only come in with certain conditions. And this is why many of us came to this specific for these times, for this prophecy, to be able to prepare not only the earth grid, but also the parents and or the women specifically who are going to be birthing those beings and holding the portal open. So it's not a portal; it's a stargate they come through, and we are preparing now for those arrivals. And the women obviously cannot give birth to those beings in a hospital. Like, it's
I'm getting
impossible.
emotional. I feel like I've had this conversation before. I don't know. It's very interesting.
Mm.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because this is you form part of the prophecy. Like this is
Yeah.
information that is coming through now, and you form part of this manifestation of those beings. So literally just us speaking about it and you giving me the opportunity to speak about it publicly for the first time is creating this. We are dreaming this into being. And thank you for that. And yeah, so the women are being prepared for that right now. And not necessarily even men are necessarily needed for that. So we are also remembering that we are able to conceive and to create without necessarily a sperm. And so this is the divine intervention, the divine materialization of those beings. Like this is like Mary. She did conceive Jesus as well in this way. So this is what is coming back. Like literally, this is what is going to start to happen more and more and more. And there are already women who are conceiving immaculate, and there is more and more going to happen in this way. But the conditions for these arrivals need to be set in place. Everyone needs to be on the right frequency in the right place. And for example, my daughter, she is a dragon, the golden dragon being, but her birth was, oh my God, like I had to go through so much trying to hijack her birth. And during her birth, not everything went how it was supposed to. I received a lot of instructions for her birth. I had to birth her at home here in like alone at home, and many, many things, but not all of her could come through the portal. So not all of her consciousness could come through the portal, which means that part of her consciousness was not able to fully come into her body, which is the same that happened to me. So when I wanted to come, my mother could not hold my light. So I couldn't come fully in. So parts of my consciousness could not come into my body. This is what happened. Then many years later, I had various death experiences, and also one experience where I had literally, uh, they call it walk in. I don't like to call it walk in because it's simply like more of myself suddenly appearing online. But I had a really intense experience where like a 13th dimension consciousness part of me suddenly came online, um and I forgot for a moment who I was. Iris did not exist anymore until kind of both of my consciousness started to merge, and I started to merge with that part of me, which is where everything started. And I started to paint the portals, and I started to paint um like go through all of the crazy stuff that happened after that. So when I gave birth, another part of me was able to come through the portal with my daughter. So I changed again into a completely new person. And when those beings are starting to come down, where a big, big portal of many, many beings will need to be opened and held in pure unconditional love, this is when I received the message that the rest of our consciousness that could not come in, of our seraphim consciousness, will drop into our bodies. And this is when we will physically change into our true form, which is we are shining gold. We are gold, the golden ones. This is our true form. I have seen myself many times in this way. And this is when literally our new earth bodies, or our original bodies, will really start to come online. And this all sounds like a sci-fi movie, and I know that it sounds really like woo-woo, but this is what I remember, this is what I receive, and this is what I know will happen. I cannot prove it. I cannot. It's just a knowing, and I have never spoken about it in this way, but I know it's gonna happen, and I am preparing. for this. I'm being prepared every day, and really incredible things are happening. I was led to a stone, which is the entrance to the inner earth, because they told me that the beings, those highly evolved beings, do not come from the stars. They come from inner earth. They
This
come
is
from
so crazy. I don't know where this is coming from, and I don't know where I've heard it. I don't know, but I know that there are very specific assigned humans here right now that are meant to greet these humans. We're meant to welcome them into this experience and help them integrate
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Like, that's a very specific assigned role,
yeah.
and it feels so familiar that we're talking about this because I have had this conversation. I don't know if it was in my dreams or if it was in my soul contract creation, but
For sure.
I'm like, "Wait, yes." So
Yes.
you're definitely one of those people that's, like, here to greet and be like, "Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome
Well,
to."
I was already led to inner earth 2 times. One time in dream state, so in my plasma body, my astral body. This was in France, where I was led to go to specific places, and one of those places is Bugarach Mountain. And Bugarach Mountain, they say it's the only place that when if the world goes to shit, this is the only place where people will survive. And I understand now why. It's because it's an entrance to the inner earth. And while I was there, I was brought down, and yeah, that's another story. But then the second time I was brought is here, when I was brought to this stone, which is the other entrance. And this is I'm a guardian for this stargate here, for this entrance, and not only me, other beings here too. And I received so much information and confirmation. But literally, this stone is one of the stones that are starting to emerge now around the world. Fertility stones where women can pilgrimage to, and there's a ritual that you can do, and then if you do this ritual, you and tell why you want to become a mother, you can become a mother, and also specifically of one of those beings. But they are being chosen now. So the mothers are being chosen now. And these are the mothers that are going to come here in pilgrimage and say why they want to become a mother. And yeah, so it's crazy stuff. Crazy for me, it's also crazy. Like, even for me, and I'm really cosmic, I have lived a lot of stuff. But this is like going to, okay, so it's
Yeah.
happening. And so the extraterrestrial contact that everyone is talking about is not really going to be extraterrestrial, like not some ships are coming and all of that. Specifically, if ships are coming, I would really recommend nobody to go on those ships. Just just on a side note, really, really, no, it's
Are
not a joke. I really do not recommend to go on any ship.
have
Um,
you heard of these aliens? Well, like, I've watched a couple of, like, these extraterrestrial specific alien documentaries where they are specifically hunting men and looking for, like, if they have a vasectomy, like, these men are getting dropped back down onto Earth, but if they don't have a vasectomy, these alien beings are, like, taking men. Have you heard of that?
mm-mm.
Like, they're using our DNA in our body to create. This is just from something I watched. Not that I, like, have really
Yeah, but
done
they're
much
doing that here. This is not somewhere in space. They're doing that here.
here
They're
on.
yeah, yeah, they're making a lot of experiments with our DNA. I had
Yeah.
my eggs stolen. I was on ships. I had my eggs stolen and and woke up and was like on an operation table. Yeah,
What?
because I hold the original blueprint DNA. Yeah, yeah.
Wait,
I have many hybrid children, many hybrid children on ships. But that's another story. But I really do not recommend going on any sort of ship. The beings is in inner earth. The highly advanced beings are inside the earth, are in inner earth. Those are the true um, avatar beings. So when you think of the movie Avatar, this is there. Down.
um,
Yeah.
wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I'm just letting this like integrate for a minute. You've left me speechless in a good way.
Yeah, they're making a lot of experiments here. They want to they want to be able to transfer our soul into their body. These interdimensional beings, they want to be able to transfer our soul, which is connected to this pure love source, which is organic, eternal energy. They don't have that. They need an external something to be able to survive. We don't need anything to survive. We don't even would need to breathe. Imagine. Like we don't even need to breathe. When we become aware that we are it all and the only thing that exists is love, what do you need? If you are love and outside of you everything is love, you
Literally.
don't even need to breathe. And this is why yogis and really highly advanced beings, they maybe breathe once every 3 minutes.
Yes. Yes. Something really pivotal that I heard when I first started yoga many years ago. One of my yoga teachers was like, she had said that, I try to breathe as slow as possible throughout the day. Like she's conscious of it. She said, think of the miles on a car. If you're burning the miles on a car and you're breathing really fast, that car is going to burn out much faster. Whereas if you're going much slower and there's like less miles on the car, that car's going to last in great condition for like much longer. It's the same
Yeah.
like the amount of breaths that you're taking. If you're constantly in a state of stress and chaos, you're breathing, 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 breathing. You're gonna leave this
Age
earth much
faster.
faster.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's right.
I was like, wow, that really just changed my life. Like, there's everything here.
Yeah. Yeah. When you start to consciously breathe and notice that every inhale and exhale is literally like a small death. Yeah. A small little death. And when you start to experiences those constant deaths that we are going through all of the time, because every moment we're dying to the next moment. So the version of ourselves that is now does the older one doesn't really exist except we hold on to it. So right now we're going into a moment where we can actually choose which memories we want to keep, but
Mm.
the rest we will have to let go of everything to really step into our role as the embodiment of pure love. And pure love embodiment does not mean love and light and everything is fine and you will be forever happy. That is the trick, to keep you always chasing a imaginary state of being where everything is perfect. There is not such thing. We are here to be human. So the moment when you have, this is like the second awakening, when you realize, oh my God, I have been chasing something that is impossible to achieve. And this is what the new age healing bullshit cycle makes you believe, that one day you will be healed, that one day you will be happy and you will not have any more problems and everything will be fine. There is not, this day will never come and you will be always just chasing this illusion that is not even real. So the true awakening is when you understand that it is about being human, being in the now, and how you deal with those human things and the things that come to you on a day-to-day basis, that you are perfect just as you are right now, and that the most easy thing to do when those problems come, or those adversities or those challenging times, is to be still, put it all in a box, one by one, wrap it up, and hand it over to the cosmic mother, to your cosmic parents, and say, here you go. Help me with this, and let it go, and continue. And then listen. Take time to listen and stop and listen to these instructions that are automatically inside of your body. Your body's talking to you all of the time in which direction to go. follow your highest excitement, follow the fuck yeses. And it is normal to have fears. It is normal to have doubts. I have them every day.
Yes, me
It's
too.
normal.
Yes.
And we have to normalize it. We have to normalize it that we are here as teachers, but we are also here as eternal students. And
Yes.
I am 100% sure that nobody has it figured out. So what is coming out of my mouth right now, most of it or a lot of it, I don't even know. I haven't even was not aware until it came out of my mouth. And this is when the oracle starts to awaken, where you do not channel, where you do not envision things, where you just simply allow the divine to flow through you as a clear vessel. And art really helps you to go into this flow, because when you create, and I mean art by painting or making music or anything that you create with your hands, you are connecting with the creator in you. And the more you do that on a devotional base every day, the easier it gets, and the clearer the channel gets. And this is why art is going to be the medicine of the future, and one of the most incredible and easy tools to transmute and to go through these challenging times. And this year is the year of the horse, but it's not only the year of the horse. This year is the year where everything is going to change, and like really physically change. Like, and it's not going to be easy, probably, for many of us. So we will need to have tools to help us go through these times. And those tools will be, one, community,
Yeah.
true interpersonal connections that can hold you, that can witness you in these thresholds, that allow you to be and allow these things to come up without wanting to change it, not into, I need to heal this, I need to heal you, you're not, you need to be different. No, just allowing yourself to be the way you are, so that this can come up to, in order to be automatically transmuted. And then two, creation, art, like art and a proper hydration. And I'm not talking about drinking a lot of water, because that's also part of the deception. They always say drink 2-3 liters of water. But first of all, the water that most people drink is not good. It's programmed with shit. And second, what we need to drink is minerals. What we need to intake is minerals. And the body is intelligent enough to tell you when it needs to drink and when not. So it's not you need to drink 2 or 3 liters of water. It's you have to listen to your body when it needs water. That's the difference. And if you drink water with minerals, like I do, I drink water with lemon and salt,
Yeah.
sea salt. And if you drink this, what your body needs, you don't need to drink a lot. I drink maybe maximum this and maybe this. Maximum a day. I have days where I need more. I have days where I need less. But I don't drink 2 or 3 liters of water. And then the water that I drink is blessed. I connect with it. I drink it consciously, and I use it as medicine. So yeah, we need to change a lot of things that we have just been taken as true, or as, oh, I need to do that. Yeah, but we need to start using our own brains and start listening to ourselves.
Yes. And you covered so much there. And I want to go back to like the use it or lose it. I think so often I see people who are stuck in these same stories. Why does this keep happening to me? This verbiage of like, oh, these people are all attracted to me and I'm stuck in this cycle. And it's like, if you are continuously keeping that front of mind, then that will continue being your reality. And to know when it's productive versus unproductive. Okay, you've put awareness to it, you've released this pattern, this thing, send it up to source. It's no longer your burden to carry. You're good. Let the lessons and let them clear. And I feel like we're so attached to things in this lifetime, including death, including, all of these emotions that we're meant to feel, which are a gift, the good and the bad, quote unquote. It's like we need to live in more, of the detachment, more of the letting go of our ego, letting go of the things that are keeping us in such like a dense reality because we can't actually ascend when we're so attached to emotional, physical, mental things. So it is interesting. And I had gone through a pretty traumatic, well, the last few years I've been going through like a whole family, just death and rebirth with that, and, kind of seeing things for what they really are. And the healing took a very long time because I was so attached to how I thought things were, and art really called to me, and I started painting, and I
Nice.
people were like, "Have you done this?" Like, whatever, like, I don't even know how these things were coming out of me, how I, like, had created these works of art, but I would just sit for hours and hours, and I'm like, "No one can take me out of this because this is literally, like, my healing."
Yeah.
On this canvas, and I couldn't even believe the way it transformed my life. Just
Hmm.
letting my body create what it wanted to create. It was so fascinating, so it's beautiful
Yeah.
that that's the modality that you work with. And I think more people need to turn into those things and not question why. Why do I wanna, go buy paintbrushes and start painting? Like, just do it. Don't question it, just do it, let it happen. And be aware of kind of how it's making you feel and the things changing in your fields.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so magical. It just gives you so much. Gives you the permission to be messy. It gives you the permission to be imperfect. It shows you what you're capable of and how things can change when you think you fucked it up and suddenly this turns out to be the most incredible paint that you have ever done. It
Yes.
shows you that what you're creating already exists. You just have to give it the allowance to emerge. And it just shows you so much. Art is like the most amazing teacher with nature, basically the only two things that you need. And specifically in those times right now um, where like this healing methods are still like so many concepts, right? So many mental concepts, and people looking for answers outside of themselves with tarot, with the Akashic readings, and all of that, which is basically just reinforcing a new, the building of a new spiritual identity that is so much more difficult to let go of because you identify then with with a false identity that is only just sounds much better and much more enlightened. And this is also a part of the deception and the interdimensional beings. And this is what part of the New Age is when they started to talk about like the Arcturians and the Galactic Federation and all of that. So they were targeting the star seeds, that the ones that are here to usher in the change, to keep in this loop and to not take a stand and also um, let the dragon in themselves, the fire that is needed for those times to say no, to say stop, we don't want this anymore, and for them to not find their truth, their inner truth. All of this shit show was invented. So art will drastically take away layer by layer all of those false identities. And it is the most incredible tool to transmute these emotions that are just coming up right now in you in order to feel to be released. Many of us are feeling sadness, rage, although our lives are okay, we don't really know what's happening because this feelings and emotions suddenly can actually move through us because our frequency has raised and we have started not to hold on to certain things, so they can actually move through us now, and we are being used to for the collective as well, for all of those things to move through. And art allows you to take all of this emotions and make something beautiful out of it, something new. And we are actually creating with all of that dense energy and that dense emotion. The artists are creating now the new. Oh my God, I just have as well fall on the same that you had before. Shit, like this. Oh my God, we had conversation. Oh shit, I have
It's really powerful.
I have the biggest deja vu right now. Shit,
Yeah,
wow.
this is wild. Yeah.
Woo. Wow. So deja vu is when you remember that you created this, and when you align with the timeline where you know, oh my God, like it's just giving you your higher self or your God saying you're on the right path, continue here. And yeah, anyways, I didn't even know what I was saying.
Literally, you're talking all about how like art will
Wow.
bring people through, like, and allow people to not be so attached and
Yes,
like
yes. So create
there.
something
Yes.
new. Art is literally love made real. Art is a conversation with the true divine in you. Art is we artists are rewriting the future. We are bringing the world of the unseen to the seen. You can
Yeah.
create with art. You connect with your quantum self. When I started painting, which was a little bit similar to you, I never painted before. And my dad one day called me and he was like, Iris, I had this dream. And my dad never calls me. He's an autist. He never calls me. And he's like, I had a dream and I never dream. And I dreamed that you were showing like my favorite artists, all of these famous artists, to paint from the heart. And that they all were coming to me and saying how incredibly like stunned they are with what you're teaching them. And in that moment, something inside of me clicked like, and this is what happens. These are the personal instructions coming online. And they are triggered with those kind of things like now. We're doing the same. We're triggering, and many that are going to listen to this, we're triggering something.
Yes.
And I started painting. And I started painting like crazy for like over 1.5 years. And it was not a normal painting. It was that I was literally seeing beings and messages and stuff on the paper, and I was just outlining them, and suddenly those portals started to open and beings started to come through the portal, and they were starting to come into my room, and I was like, what is going on? So I was starting to happen this to experience this multidimensional experiences with parts of me that were coming through the painting.
So you started seeing your in your physical
Yes, no, not in my physical. Yeah, well, energetically, and also I started to travel through the painting, and I went into this deep healing and soul retrieval and dissolution of all of those parts of me that were stuck in space time that didn't allow me to fully embody here in the now moment. So I was just bringing them all of them back, which is not me. It's all of you and all of us. It was literally where I realized that every person that is looking at my paintings is co-creating this with me and is actually one of those beings that came through this portal, and I greeted. So this is how powerful art is. And this is the new multidimensional art and visionary art that is emerging. It's art that is alive. They're literally portals. It changes consciousness, and you can do it too. And this
Yes.
is what I'm going to be doing in 2 days. I'm going to, for the first time ever, show people this process of I call it magic maps. So the first time ever, I'm going to share how I do it. And I'm going to activate a little bit of this way of painting. It's called pareidolia. So it's the capacity to see faces and symbols and beings in clouds or in empty spaces. And actually, it's like a supernatural ability where your capacity of vision, your cells and your eyes are capable of seeing beyond just the physical and also see the energetics and then start to materialize it. And this is what is activating in many of us so that we can actually start to see the real reality, if you want to call it like that, what is even real, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
And see through the veil, which is not really there. Like the veil is not there. It's just this inversion, like an intrusion of what is real. Yeah. So if you start to work in this way, you will start to be able to talk through symbolic language with your divine self and receive messages, receive answers. This is why there are magic maps or maps home, because you can literally ask something and then you will receive the answer, but not through human words, but through symbolic language, which is the most ancient language are all symbolic languages. Egyptian, Amazigh, which is this language, which is one of the oldest languages. It's actually also Atlantean.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, so symbolic runes, all of this are symbolic languages because they cannot be hijacked. Only human language can be hijacked and is actually really hijacked. So yeah, it's really
Yeah.
interesting. If you want to try it out, this first part is only going to be where we're going to be create the base, because the base is like in life itself, the most important thing. Like without a proper base, where you put your intentions and where we work with water as well, the rest cannot emerge. So we're going to be preparing the ground in order for us to dive into the magic map and do this.
Incredible.
Mm.
I think it's so interesting. Like, I know English language is like the least potent when it comes to prayer and rituals and mantra training, things of that nature. And so many of us are visual. So being able to really paint something or see this language and then intuitively be like, I know what this is or how it feels in my body. It's like not everything needs the answer. It's just a resonance and a remembering that brings us back. So I almost want to end on I think there are so many people in the spiritual space who run to plant medicine journeys, ayahuasca, things of that nature. If they're sitting here listening to this and they have a ceremony planned or they're thinking about it or they're being called to it, why should they not do that and go into ceremony with you and do art and do your method of healing?
Well, first of all, you can do whatever you want, but I have done ayahuasca. I have done all sorts of plant medicines, mushrooms. I have done LSD, everything you can think of. I have done DMT. I have done it all. First of all, the big plants like DMT or bufo, they always, like, I went nowhere. They sent me back and said, "You are not meant to leave your body. You're meant to go into your body." So was my bufo experience, my mostly. So right now, it is super, super important for us to come into our body and not to go out of our body. So it's all about embodiment and integration into this material reality. So ayahuasca is a plant that is not native to most of where we live, right? So it is imported like a slave into another place and used in ways that are mostly not aligned with the principles of nature. So, what is happening now with cacao, with ayahuasca, and all of those plants is that they are inverted. So, they are hijacked as well and are actually having the contrary effect than they originally have. And plants are spirits. They have consciousness. So if people start to treat them as slaves, they are not happy about it. Yeah. So my take on that is that there are other plants, like the plants that are native to where you live, that you can find just taking a walk. Like, for example, here in my place is rosemary. It's the pine tree. It's mugwort. Those three in specific are the perfect triad. And actually, I have done a lot of plant medicine that I told you is psychedelic. And then I have done dietas with rosemary, with pine, and with mugwort. And those three dietas have brought me more answers and more illumination and more everything and more healing than all of the other plants that I have done before. And if you do it in a very with humbleness, in a reverence way, which was what we also do in the community in the Dragon Coven. We're going to be doing plant dietas together, but with those kind of plants. The plants that are around you in the grid where you live are the key holders. They literally hold the keys to unlock the grid and the reality in where you are. And specifically, the pine is actually the gatekeeper to inner earth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And rosemary and mugwort are the plants that that are gifts from the cosmic mother. So they connect you with the energy of the feminine, of the great cosmic mother, which is what we are, what is awakening us right now with the solar Christ, the triple solar Christ. So I recommend you try first this, and then my way of doing ceremonies are like an ayahuasca ceremony, but without the ayahuasca. So it's I use those kind of plants and water and the process of art and dancing to have an experience where it's maybe more subtle. You don't have maybe this visual. Some people do. I have that sometimes, even visuals, like as if I would have taken ayahuasca, but you are working on your physical body and you are in the moment having the experience, having the aha moment and immediately integrating it. Like it's just not keeping a mental concept, which is what happens with a lot of ayahuasca or other ceremonies. You have this amazing experiences, and then what? Nothing happens. It stays there, or you cannot integrate and you go into psychosis. And most of the ceremonies or the facilitators don't you don't have an integration period afterwards, that you never see them again. And you're left alone with more questions than you had before, and out of your body. Like most of the people who go to ayahuasca ceremony are out of body, and most of them just want to keep on having this 15, 23 hours of experiences of becoming one with God, because that's what we desire. That's our biggest wound, is to feel whole, is to become one again. But they have that in that time, and then they go home and they go into a hole and cannot integrate what they have experienced. So they do it again and do it again and do it again. And this is what needs to stop. And also, a lot of those ceremonies I hijacked. You can go open portals that you would not want to open, of being possessed, of being hijacked, and keeping you in a loop. And there's a lot of really nasty things going on there. So my recommendation is try other plants, native plants, and if you're not doing the ceremony with me, but try dancing, painting, and just sitting by a tree. Like, the most incredible thing is just sitting 10 minutes a day by a tree. If you do this for 21 days, I promise you it will be so much more intense than an ayahuasca. You will open up your psychic abilities. They will give you the keys to find who you are. You can ask them anything, and you will align with the heartbeat of the earth. So we'll be always in alignment with the rebirth that she's going through as into a cosmic being. You will be in alignment. You will not have any ascension symptoms. You will not get sick, and it is for free.
Barefoot, mind you. Don't wear shoes when you do it.
Yeah.
And I like to say you have to ask the trees permission because they'll tell you if it's okay. Because if you were to sit by a tree that's really sick, they might not have the energy to help you. You want to be with like a healthy tree.
But you can help the tree. Like if they're sick, and actually
Give them
you sit there, you can help the tree as well. So it's always a giving and receiving. Although trees give unconditionally like nature does, and like how when we are aligned with nature's principle, we will also start to give unconditionally when we understand that there is no separation. This is also a paradigm that we're moving into: sacred reciprocity, not everything based on money and all of that, but that's another conversation for another day.
yes. Thank you for your just beautiful energy and your magic and wisdom.
Yay, thank
That you
you, Antonia. May I ask why your name is House of Antonia?
I wanted a space that could be multidimensional because I've never fit into a box. And so I am here to help women heal ancestral trauma, but I also love sound healing. I love yoga and movement. I love art. And so I wanted it to be a space that has many different rooms, modalities of healing that was open to, whoever comes into my field and wants healing. It's like, okay, here's all of these different options. It's not a one size fits all. So that's where the name originated from.
I love that. That is
Thank
exactly who I want to connect with, because we're multifaceted, we're multidimensional,
Yes.
multi-interested beings. And I love that. That is so beautiful. Nice.
Thank you.
Nice,
Thank
nice.
you.
I would like to have you as well on my podcast if you want.
I would
It's
love
just
that.
so strongly a while ago, the talking stick was like, tell her, tell her, tell her. Like, okay, I'm gonna ask
Oh, oh
her.
my goodness.
If you
Yes,
want,
like,
you're more than welcome to join for the next time. And then I would be delighted to hear your wisdom. Because as I said before, we are teachers, but we are also students, and everyone holds specific codes and specific keys. And I know that you are also a key holder, and my womb is going crazy right now. So I don't know what it means, but like my womb is pulsing. There's something going to happen when we talk as well with the talking stick and you. Ooh, yeah, let's see.
the energy transmission is just very beautiful. Yeah.
I
Okay,
can feel it too.
we will do it. Yeah,
Yay! Amazing. That's an initiation to the circle of modern medicine women, my friend.
it is. It
And
is.
that is a decision that you just took. And I feel that we are really now coming together, those that are meant to come together. Everyone you're meeting now is like a key point. There's no coincidences. And it's just so beautiful to witness how everything unfolds. Yeah. So
It's
amazing. I am
even
just
this season, I'm like, I need medicine women. People are ready to hear this information. They're ready. So I need to create this space and bring these beautiful women on and share this medicine with the people who are ready to receive it.
saying thank you so much for this.
Of course. Do you want to tell people where they can connect with you? I'll add it in the show notes, but
Mhm.
anything that you have coming up that you want to make people aware of?
Yeah, well, this portal painting, I just announced it in the community because I'm like still, oh, I don't want to go like public with it. So I'm gonna offer this just to the community. I have a free community space. It's the Dragon Coven, where we come together once a month to create called a space called Arte Misa. So in Spain, it's arte is art, and misa is the mass. So like going to church, but with your homies and creating and connecting with God on another level. So everyone is welcome to join there. It's a beautiful, sacred, and safe place where everyone can create whatever they are creating on. So painting or writing, whatever you want, or just being there. Then I have also on Monday the Sacred Dancer workshop coming up, which is directed to the dancing priestesses of Hathor and of Isis, because we're being called to take up formation and how we're doing it in other space-time continuums, because our bodies are literally the turning point between dimensions, and we are on a turning point between dimensions. So we are asked to remember our sacred dance, the power that our bodies hold, and to come together and do this together. It's also remembrance for me. I'm just here of service, doing whatever I'm asked to do,
Yes.
and I think it's gonna be amazing. This is on Monday, 7:30 CT Madrid time. And yeah, in the community that I have, all of these offerings that come through and all the painting workshops and all of that is included in the paid tier. And then I have also the free tier. So that's what's coming up. And then I'm being called now to really go into this healing of the birth coordinate. Because what happens when you heal your birth coordinate and you rewrite it as if you would have been born into the original earth grid, all of the traumas, all of the ancestral inner child healing, all of it unnecessary. It just disappears as if it would have never happened. So this information is what is coming in now for me to create a portal and a painting to heal your birth. And this will be the initiation for a program that I'm going to be doing to become a multidimensional art medicine woman. So that what I do, what I teach, which is the map process, the multidimensional art or alignment process, which combines art, dance, music, or sound, the light language, into one with nature, with plants. And yeah, this is what is awakening in us, so that you'd remember that you have your own medicine, and all of these modern medicine women need to be awakened. And this happens only when you put yourself in the space with other medicine women, so your own wisdom can arise. And this is what I'm going to be offering. Yeah, that's it.
This is, thank you. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much for holding such beautiful space and this beautiful energy. I don't know what's going on with my womb, but it's like, oh my God, I feel like I'm having a Kundalini awakening right now. So weird. Oh, shit.
We're meant to connect, and we knew that. I told you as soon as we connected, I said it was a full body yes.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, there's a deep resonance here. So you're very special.
Oh, you
Yes.
too. I can feel it. I can feel like I know if I know you forever.
Yes.
It's the first time we see, but I'm still having so many deja vus. When you every time you you laugh, I'm having a deja vu. It's incredible. Oh,
We've danced this dance before. Yeah.
oh yes.
I'm
Mm.
excited to continue connecting and sharing and growing with you.
Yes, same, same, same. I would love to have you next in the next Artemisa for sure.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. Yes, everyone stay tuned for that. We'll post when it comes out.
Yes, yes, yes. Amazing.